Good evening, everybody. This meeting is being held in accordance with the public laws of 1975, Chapter 231. An adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a notice sent to the Asbury Park Press, the Two River Times, and the Star Ledger, and posted in the main lobby of the municipal building and on the municipal website. OPMA authorizes municipalities to conduct public meetings through use of streaming services and other online meeting platforms. The Red Bank Council is meeting in person as well as providing an option for the public to participate via Zoom video meetings. Please note that the option to attend is being provided as a courtesy. Therefore, if Zoom becomes unavailable during the meeting and it cannot quickly be fixed, council will continue with the remainder of the meeting. For those joining us via Zoom, please raise your hands during designated time to be recognized for a comment. Whether you are appearing in person or via Zoom, you must provide your names to be recognized. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please, Mary.
Councilmember Bonakakis.
Here.
Councilmember Cassidy.
Present.
Councilmember Facey Blackwood. Here. Councilmember Forrest.
Present.
Councilmember Janone.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Trigiano.
Here.
And Mayor Portman.
Here. We're going to kick things off with a proclamation that was left off of the agenda. We have a lot of proclamations coming on and off this week, so we're going to kick things off honoring our Eagle Scout, our newest Eagle Scout, Philip Dostie. Whereas Philip Vincenzo Dostie of Red Bank Troop 67 of the Boy Scouts of America has achieved the rank of Eagle Scout, and whereas Eagle Scouts act as leaders and role models in the community, it takes years of dedication and commitment to achieve the rank of Eagle Scout. And whereas the Eagle Scout Award is a distinction that will follow him throughout his life and will be a beacon to others of the leadership quality and commitment this young man has shown. And whereas Philip's Eagle Scout project involved the complete redesign of a corner of East Side Park, including the replacement of the park sign, originally an old weathered sign and a stone monument. And whereas with the help of his family, scouts, and friends, it is now a welcoming corner. It features a retaining stone wall filled with a variety of shrubs and plants. The park sign has been redesigned, and they cleaned and repositioned the stone monument. And whereas thanks to Philip's vision and dedication, this once overlooked corner of East Side Park has been transformed into a beautiful and lasting contribution to the community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, William Portman, Mayor of the Borough of Red Bank, on behalf of the Red Bank Borough Council, do hereby congratulate and recognize Philip Dostie for his achievement of the rank of Eagle Scout. We are proud to have him as a member of our community. Sure. Go ahead.
Nothing like that.
My dad's like it was like the new dais decker.
Yeah, family should come out.
My skills.
Thank you actually to all you guys, because I'm just really glad that they can bring this finalization to life, just to give that extra piece back to the community. I've been and I'm there, so thank you to all.
Thank you. An angel.
Okay. We did have a proclamation honoring Ritesh Shah, but he had a family emergency, so we have to push that off to next time. Next up, World Humanitarian Day. Whereas World Humanitarian Day takes, hold on one second, by the way. You guys can stay, go. I mean, I mean, you're welcome to hang for all the resolutions, but we can also give you a minute to exit gracefully. Yeah, like I said, you're welcome to stay. Thank you, guys.
You have options.
Leave early. The real truth.
Okay, moving outside. Blue. Pull them up. Let's move that. Humanitarian Day. Whereas World Humanitarian Day takes place annually on the 19th of August, it's a global observance that honors and celebrates the selfless efforts of humanitarian workers who save lives and provide aid in times of crisis and promote awareness of humanitarian efforts globally. And whereas as conflicts become more intense, complex, and protracted globally, attacks on humanitarian, civilian infrastructure, and healthcare, that is, health facilities, health workers, infrastructure, transportation, and related services have become increasingly common, often in clear violation of international laws. And whereas since the beginning of 2024, WHO has verified over 700 attacks on healthcare across 13 countries and territories. And whereas attacks on healthcare are a violation of international humanitarian law, and whereas health workers, patients, health facilities, and supplies must never be attacked and must be actively protected by all parties to a conflict. And whereas our message for this year's World Humanitarian Day is to stop the normalization of attacks on humanitarians, prevent civilian suffering, and end impunity under international humanitarian law and other international agreements. Therefore, I, William Portman, Mayor of the Borough of Red Bank, on behalf of the council, by the powers vested in me, do hereby proclaim our support for a designation for August 19th, 2025 as World Humanitarian Day. Next up, it's National Black Business Month, August 2025. Whereas the month of August is observed as National Black Business Month, an annual observance that began nearly 20 years ago to highlight the remarkable achievements, contributions, milestones, and historical progress of Black businesses and entrepreneurs across the United States. And whereas throughout history, despite facing systemic racism, redlining, and even extreme violence, as evidenced through the Tulsa Massacre of 1921, Black businesses continue to grow and thrive throughout the nation. And whereas as of the latest census, there were 3.5 million Black-owned businesses that employ more than 1.2 million people. This represents an annual increase of over 7% in people employed by Black entrepreneurs in the United States, generating $206 billion in annual revenue and supporting 3.56 million US jobs. And whereas the financial impact of Black or African American owned businesses in the United States is multifaceted and dynamic and translates into real world economic impact, creating jobs for workers of all backgrounds. And whereas the Borough of Red Bank supports and celebrates our local Black owned businesses and entrepreneurs that create jobs and boost our local economy and encourage our community members to explore, discover, and shop at Black owned businesses. Now, therefore, I, William Portman, Mayor of the Borough of Red Bank, on behalf of the council, by the powers vested in me, do hereby proclaim our support for a designation of August 2025 as National Black Business Month. And finally, we have a proclamation honoring Augusta Gus Carter. Whereas Augusta Carter, Gus, as he is commonly known,
Yes, yes.
was born September 3rd, 1941 in Havelock, North Carolina. He graduated from the Queen Street High School in Beaufort, North Carolina in 1959. And whereas while in high school, Gus worked part-time in the local barbershop Shining Shoes. After a while, he started helping the barber with haircuts. He still remembers his first customer, his father, then his cousin. Then the word got out the whole neighborhood. That was back in 1955. One haircut, 50 cents. And whereas after high school graduation, Gus left home and moved to Red Bank, New Jersey. A short time after being in Red Bank, he decided to get his license to become an official barber in New Jersey. He attended the Vaughn Barber School in New York City. After graduation, Gus opened his own shop, Gus's Barber Shop, on Tuesday, May 9th, 1978, located at 243 Shrewsbury Avenue in Red Bank. And whereas at a young age, while attending Piney Grove AME Zion Church in Havelock, Gus accepted the Lord into his life. He is currently a member of the Shrewsbury Avenue AME Zion Church, where he has been a faithful member for over 50 years, serving on the Steward, Finance, and Men of Zion Ministries. And whereas Gus's barbershop is mobile, he freely gives of his time and skill to provide haircuts and shaves to people who are sick or shut in their homes and hospitals or in nursing homes. And whereas Gus is husband to Donna Carter, father to Augustus Carter and Kyla Carter Owens, father-in-law to Kevin Owens, grandfather to Ania Booker, Madison Booker, Gina Carter, and Okami Owens. Now, therefore, be resolved that the mayor and council of the Borough of Red Bank hereby recognize and commend Augusta Carter for his extraordinary dedication to public service, and be it resolved that a copy of this proclamation be presented to Mr. Gus Carter as a token of the borough's esteem and gratitude. I'm going to deliver these to Gus at the shop tomorrow.
That's one of the nicest proclamations. That was just a really great story.
Yes.
Story.
Really, because
Yes, 88, 98, what was it, 47 years he's been in business here.
like the story, not the math, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. We also have a new library board trustee appointment. Her name is Nubia Vinning. I think Nubia is here. Welcome. Thank you, thank you. Can I have a motion to open the floor for public comment on agenda items only?
I make such a motion.
Have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
I
Anyone has any comments on agenda items only?
think Nubia wants to say a few words.
Okay, sure. Let's start with Nubia.
I just wanted to.
Nubia, come on up to the little booth there where the microphone is, and
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to introduce myself, but
Push the button.
I'm very new to this.
yeah.
You're good. Now you're official.
Now you're pro.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Nubia Vitting. I've been living in Red Bank for almost 8 years. I have 2 young boys, 5 and 8. Let's see. We enjoy the library. We go to the library a lot. We're there almost once a week, maybe twice. So when I found an opportunity to be able to give back and serve the community, I jumped on it because I really love the community, the library, the people. What else? I'm a little nervous. I'm sorry.
You're bilingual.
I'm bilingual. I am in the Dominican Republic and I came here at a very young age. My educational background, I have a bachelor's of science in forensic science with a concentration in molecular biology. And I also have a master's of arts in biological sciences. I worked at the New York City office of the chief medical examiner for 11 years. And I resigned that job around the time where my second child was born because it just felt like too much for me to go back to work and be, and take care of my kids. So now I am a house manager and a volunteer. I volunteer whenever I have the opportunity to. So it's a little bit about me.
She's a great neighbor too.
I'm a great neighbor.
The cutest car in Red Bank.
It has numbers on the side.
I'm at the 53, if you've seen the 53
Herbie.
car, that's me. That's pretty much it.
Thank you, Nubia. Well,
Thanks, Nubia.
Thank you.
just
Thank
hit
you.
that button again on them. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. Anyone else have any comments or questions for agenda items? Yes. You gotta come on up and state your name and address in the microphone. Just hit that button there and you'll.
Yeah. Okay.
This one.
There you go.
There we go.
Charles Janjigian, 165
Springs.
Street. I did not get a chance to look at the exact agenda, but I have a list here that may cover the agenda as a resident of Red Bank.
The agendas are right here on the table too. You could certainly. We leave the copy right here at the front of the room for everyone to take a copy.
And then we,
Opportunity afterward, regardless of whether.
Right.
Okay, I'll look at the agenda first and then go.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions or comments on agenda items only? Yes. Mr. Proku. Actually, Mr. Proku, we're gonna do it up here at in the corner here, that mic, yeah.
In this box. Good evening, Mayor and Council. The first agenda item that I want to speak on is the black business. Glad that you did the proclamation. But what I'd like to let the mayor and council understand is that this is not friendly at all to black businesses. The two funeral homes, Gore and Childs, have closed. And many attempts by other folks to establish businesses in this town have met with a lot of hurdles. Now, currently, I do individually have a case that's concerning the use of trailers in this town. I mean, when it first started, it was that you could not park a trailer on public lands in Red Bank, and that was challenged in court. I met up with Mr. Cannon in front of Judge Guardano, and eventually that was modified, and it became that the trailers had to be hitched. Now, if you look at all the types of buildings that are coming up in Red Bank, you know, these huge buildings that look like Borg ships in Star Trek, you cannot really envision someone dragging a trailer into any of the parking places in those constructions that are coming up. Now, if you look at, for instance, on Bank Street, there's a new building out there going for $1.2 million with a one-car garage. Now, if you were to try to set up a home-based business where you needed to use a trailer, for instance, you could not drag your trailer into that little carport in there, and you most likely would want to have to park on a street. You know, so when it comes down to people with very little capital trying to set up businesses that like landscape businesses and all that stuff, that would not work in Red Bank. And I believe that you should take a look at reconsidering. As it is right now, the case is in Chancery Court. Mr. Cannon wrote some kind of an email to Brian Donahue saying that the case had been dismissed. Yes, it was dismissed without prejudice. And without prejudice means that a case can be made to reinstate it. And the reason that it is dismissed without prejudice is that there's been difficulties with serving the town. And I have a copy of the material that needs to be served. And if there was any brave person here today that could take that material and hand it over to the mayor, be served to the mayor. I cannot serve it because I'm party to the litigation. So that is one aspect of speaking on the business aspect of Black folks trying to set up business in this town. The second item that I have is there's been some controversy about my role as the president of the Red Bank NAACP, and I spoke with Miss.
Is that on the agenda?
Yes.
No.
All right. I would just ask Mr. Roker that we save that one till the public comment at the end, because it's not, this is for agenda items only.
All right, okay.
But you certainly can speak to that at our public comment at the end of the meeting. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions or comments on agenda items only? Anyone online, Jim?
Mr. Dolan?
Okay.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay, Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, just two comments on agenda items. Being that I got my tax bill and I know most of the increase was due to the school, but I just had to take a look at some of the bills that we pay that are on the agenda. And I did notice that the National Night Out, which was a great event, unfortunately, I was out of town. We paid for a face painter that came out of the water account. So I don't know if that's an error in accounting, but I don't think that account should be paying for the face painters. And then the second comment around the bills is we spent about $9,600 in fuel costs. And I was wondering if we had a good regulatory policy or monitoring in place to make sure that the fuel costs are in line with a business for the town and not for personal use. So those were the two comments on the bills. And then a comment on Marine Park. I would hope, as we've had many communications about our other parks and how a lot of the work has had to be repaired or replaced or fixed, going back to the bathrooms in East Side, going back to the tennis courts at East Side, going back to the basketball hoops at Basie. I would like to see some more strength in the contracts that are being written so that when work is not performed satisfactory, that it gets corrected timely and not at the expense of us park users who can't use the facilities or get frustrated in the fact that they came to fix puddling at the East Side tennis courts and they didn't fix it. And they did patch a 1-by-1 inch hole along with missing 15,000 other cracks in that court. So I just wanted to express my frustration around the parks, and I'm hopeful that Marine Park, which will be beautiful, I'm excited to use it. I love that the grass is at the river, but I just want to be able to use it once it's done and not have it to be repaired over and over again. So that's all. Thank you.
Yes.
Found the agenda.
Okay. Okay, Charles Janjigian, 165 Spring Street.
And I believe we just had Mr. Craig Dolan. I don't know if he's present or
On Zoom.
he's on Zoom. Marine Park, it's gonna be aesthetically a beautiful park, but how about the foundation of the park? Like you said, that sidewalks are cracking, water ducts is completely ruined on Boat Club Court. And water management there, I understand. I know you have the engineering, and
You're talking about
what's done.
the-
Time?
No, I'm sorry, it was just,
And also the liability, how much is this gonna cost to have a zip line? To have a 20,000 square foot playground?
do you have a question about the awarding of the contract, which is what the agenda item is?
Okay, I do not have that specifically. I understand it went to Monarch, so I'll prepare the agenda for the end. Excuse me. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have a question or comment for agenda items only? Yes.
Again, William Pope, 90 Bank Street. I thought I might have run out of my 5 minutes when you signaled me that the next agenda item that I want to speak on is the final reading of the ordinance that's making amendments to the redevelopment, what you call it, that was adopted by the council from the planning board. And Oprah that I submitted to the town that was just brought over to me today. There's a letter that goes from Mr. Cannon to Brian Donahue. And it basically spells out that back then, the NAACP position on what redevelopment is going to bring to this town. So I believe that you had a copy already. Mr. Portman, because the letter was addressed to you that said need for formal engagement between the Borough of Red Bank and the NAACP, and it spells out what we believe was missing in the plans. You know, so I don't need to read all of that, but I'd like to give you a copy of that. I mean, so that for the record, you have it that
I believe it was emailed to me several months ago, right?
several months ago,
I'm
okay?
sure I have it in.
Right, and it basically spells out our misgivings as far as the redevelopment is concerned, that it's a fact that the what you call it, the gentrification that's going on in Red Bank has reduced the African American population, and that it's not sustainable. And with the what you call it, train station redevelopment that you're looking at, there's really no place for low income type housing. And I think that you should engage, as it was sent to you earlier, because the next step, as you know, is that it's a 60-day what you call the time where it can be challenged, and it definitely will be challenged if we cannot come to some kind of a forum to get someone like Peter Bontempo presented to the planning board about the middle housing, that instead of all luxury and then 20% set aside for affordable, we should start thinking about things like what you just did with the pilot for Locust and Cedar Crossing. You know, Cedar Crossing is something that basically is not functioning properly. Just as you gave a pilot for Locust, you might as well consider doing something with Cedar Crossing governance and getting it more viable as an entry point for people, low income people coming into Red Bank. You know, so this is basically putting you on notice that if we cannot get some kind of a forum to bring the NAACP's perspective, you know, we've engaged with Peter Bontempo, who is an architect, to see whether we can incorporate middle housing into this redevelopment. So that's what I have for that.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions or comments for agenda items only? Anyone else online, Jim? Have a motion to close the public comment for agenda items only.
I'll make such a motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from 7/24/2025?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we have a bunch of ordinances here. You'll have an opportunity to comment on any of the ones that we are approving. And then there'll be another public comment at the closer to the end of the meeting for anything that's on your mind. So first up, we have a final reading and public hearing for ordinance 2025-17 entitled an ordinance amending chapter 490 Planning and Development Regulations to repeal section 490-154 TS Train Station District and replace same with the borough's newly adopted train station redevelopment plan. This ordinance was introduced on July 10th, 2025. Can I have a motion to open the floor for public comment on this ordinance only?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, anyone have any comments or questions on ordinance 2025-17?
Hey, Karen. Karen.
Hello, Mayor, Council, how are you? I'm Karen Mastriano, 75 Oakland Street. And I just want to know what the difference is from what was introduced and what you are changing today. I think I read it, but I'd like to hear it.
I could raise on that a little bit because it also involves the planning. I had to look. So basically, this isn't a change to the redevelopment plan that came through, again, planning council before. What it's doing is repealing an existing, a previous train station. It was really an overlay district that was actually a much larger area than the development plan is looking at. It didn't really accomplish quite as much as it intended. The zoning, there's special zoning in that area, but now that we've focused on this particular area directly around the train station with the redevelopment plan, we want to focus there and remove that sort of extraneous layer in a bigger area.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't know if you changed what,
Another legal aspect to round out your point, the standards from the old district and the new redevelopment plan weren't necessarily the same. And our planner was concerned that arguments can be made for greater height or density that were things that were specifically written out of the new redevelopment plan during Christina's planning
Okay,
process.
great.
That's the other reason too.
all right, that's satisfying. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions or comments on this ordinance only? Anyone online, Jim?
No, sir.
Okay, can I have a motion to close the public comment on this ordinance only?
Move.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-17?
So moved.
You need a roll call on an ordinance like that? We're gonna do it right now. That was just for the
Yeah.
public hearing.
I'll second it.
I moved, but Ben seconded.
And second. Okay, roll call please, Mary.
Councilmember Bonatakis,
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy.
Yes.
Councilmember Facy Blackwood,
Yes.
Councilmember Forrest,
Yes.
Councilmember Janot,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Trigiano,
Yes.
Mayor Portman.
Yes.
Oh, wait, my mic's offline.
Yeah, our mics aren't working.
Oh,
That was
no.
sad.
Oh,
Yep.
You know why?
turn off that mic.
It might be that.
Oh, and
Oh, yeah, that light's red, so maybe that's doing it. You never know.
Try that.
No,
know.
Nope.
we can shout.
Oh,
Let's be loud.
I can share. All right.
Okay, next up is a final reading and public hearing for ordinance 2025-23 entitled a bond ordinance providing for various 2025 capital improvements to the fire department facilities by and in the borough of Red Bank in the county of Monmouth, state of New Jersey, appropriating $265,000 and authorizing the issuance of $251,750 in bonds or notes of the borough to finance part of the cost thereof. This ordinance was introduced on July 24th, 2025. Can I have a motion to open the floor for public comment on this ordinance only?
I'll make such a motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, if you have any, does anyone have any questions for ordinance 2025-23?
And Mayor, just to clarify and give background to this, this is for improvements to HVAC in the fire companies and also purchase of 2 generators, which will obviously enhance emergency operations in times of need when the power's out.
Thank you. Anyone online with questions?
No, sir.
Anyone here have a question for this ordinance only? Okay, can I have a motion to close the public comment on this ordinance only?
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-23.
So moved.
Have a second?
second,
Roll call, please, Mary.
Councilmember Bonatakis,
yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'm actually going to abstain only because I believe the Hook and Ladder is supposed to get one of the generators, and ultimately I'm a member of the Hook and Ladder. I fully support this, bills and all, and I appreciate this council and the community supporting the fire department. But just for the air of full visibility, I'm going to abstain from this one. All right.
thank you. Councilmember Nancy,
Me?
yes.
Okay.
Facy Blackwood.
Yes.
Councilmember Forrest,
Yes.
Councilmember Janot,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Trigiano,
I'll follow Councilman Cassidy's lead. I'm a member of West Side Hose. I believe they're obtaining a generator to also be an emergency station in town, so I will abstain.
and Mayor Portman.
Yes. But I have to do something directly.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is a final reading and public hearing for ordinance 2025-24 entitled a bond ordinance providing for phase 1 of the construction of a new Department of Utilities facility in and for the borough of Red Bank in the county of Monmouth, state of New Jersey, appropriating $4,875,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $4,640,000 in bonds or notes of the borough to finance part of the costs thereof. This ordinance was introduced on July 24th, 2025. I have a motion to open the public hearing on this ordinance only.
Make such a motion.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone have any questions or comments about this ordinance only? This is the finally getting started on the rebuild of the Public Works Department. That's been in trailers for like
2003.
since 2003.
Steve has a comment.
Either one, Steve, either this booth or that booth, but you gotta go in the little booth, table mics aren't working.
Come closer to us, Steve.
Sir.
He likes us
We don't
better
fight.
than Ben and Christine.
Yeah.
135 Branch Avenue. Question about the final amount or the total amount for this job. Where are we in figuring that out? And understood that a ballpark figure is all you can do.
Yeah, hard.
I'm not gonna throw out a ballpark figure because I know where ballparks get me in this business. But what I will say is that through this process, there's a lot that still has to be done as far as, you know, seeing what sort of environmental impact we have there, having the architecture scale the project in ways that we're working through a committee on. So scale of the project also has a lot to do with the final ballpark. But there's a lot of professional services that has to be done first. So that's why we're setting this up as a phase one. I think as we move forward in phase one and get through phase one, we will have a much clearer picture of what that ballpark is.
Okay, and
But I need this vote tonight to do that.
so the 875 encapsulates the 640, or are they cumulative?
That's correct.
Which,
It encapsulates.
okay,
Right.
thank you. Last point, please urge council members and whomever will speak here to please use the microphone. It's not possible to hear. even in the second row.
Yep.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions or comments on this ordinance only? Yes.
Yeah.
Come on up and hit that little button there, yep, and then just state your name and address and speak nice and loud.
At O'Neill, 40 Herbert Street. It is the intention of the utility renovations to be in the same site?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And as you said, phase one is really about soft costs versus hard costs?
Correct.
For the most part, yes.
Generally.
Okay. And do we know the scope yet of what is to be done?
Well, we have an idea of what we'd like to build there, but I think a lot of some of the initial things that Jim just brought up, we don't know what kind of.
Did you hear? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we don't know what the environmental impact will be yet, so we don't, when you open up the ground.
Because that is that
Yes.
complex without a question.
I mean, the idea as far as scope goes is to create enough bays for the vehicles to be stored in, to create a mechanic workshop that's, to be worked in, to create an area for us to keep our road salt. We're not going to be touching the water treatment facility that's already there. We will be creating, administrative offices, locker rooms, things like that for the crew to work in and out of.
Right.
Obviously different turning radius, relocate the gas pumps. Right now, they're directly on Chestnut Street. They need to be in the facility and secured.
Right.
So a couple different moving parts there. The area and largely most of the property would need to be demolished.
I would think.
Right, so that's where actually.
Right.
Demolished and relocated, we're gonna have to come up with some sort of temporary operation area too. So some of that cost is built into this as well.
Certainly. So at this point, there's no quote unquote plan because that's all part of what you're allocating.
Right, there's I believe I saw an architectural rendering.
Yes.
Yeah.
But not a site plan yet,
No.
which is.
That's great. Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions on this ordinance only or comments? Okay, can I have a motion to close the public comment on this ordinance only?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-24?
So moved.
I'll second it.
And second it. Roll call, please, Mary.
Councilmember Bonatakis?
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy?
Yes.
Councilmember Facey Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Forrest?
Mayor, I'm gonna make a comment. Very proud that this process is starting. It's something that
Press the button.
He can't.
Our mics are
Doesn't
broken
work.
down here.
microphone doesn't work.
You can't press the button.
Fold that cost
Go to
to
the booth.
DPW.
Go to the booth.
And
No.
Go to the confessional.
Doesn't work either.
hey, turn your mic,
Welcome.
Probably gonna have to do something about this at some point, these. So. Probably for 20 years as a member of the public, and I've been sitting here listening about our problems over at public utilities facility. And it is something that certainly was an election issue. It's an eyesore. I'm frankly also concerned about the safety in there
Amen.
for our staff. I remember actually going in there with my son when he was doing his Eagle Scout project, because he was doing a public works related thing as well, and kind of being appalled at the inside of that hangar they have there and the conditions in there. And I was like a room or two that they didn't want us to stay, even that time, which was about 7 years ago. So this is overdue. I'm very proud that we're getting things done. It's not easy doing these things and no one wants to spend money, but this is necessary and we have to do what's necessary. That's my comment, Mr. Mayor.
thank you.
Mayor, I'd like to make a comment too.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Was that a yes?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So I would say yes too. We had an ad hoc committee for the DPU, so David Cassidy, Nancy Facey Blackman, myself, Mary were there, and Jim. The place is unbelievable that they've been in those trailers that long. I think they were supposed to be for 5 years. They were in there. They were in them 20-something years now.
22.
It's appalling that people work in a situation like that, and that wasn't addressed earlier. Our people deserve, like today, they brought tents and stuff over to us when we were doing our fair, our wellness fair. They work hard. They deserve to work in a safe place. Like here I am with my safe nursing stuff. So we have to replace those trailers and get this done. Thank you. Yes, that was a yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Triano
Yes.
and Mayor Portman.
Yes. Okay, next up is a final reading and public hearing for ordinance 2025-25 entitled an ordinance amending chapter 680 vehicles and traffic to create new no parking zones on Hudson Avenue, Tilton Street, and Catherine Street to enhance public safety. This ordinance was introduced on July 24th, 2025. Can I have a motion to open the public comment on this ordinance only?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone have any questions or comments on this ordinance only?
Requested by the chief, right? These are changes that were requested by the chief.
Good, thank you.
Traffic safety and the chief, yes.
One online, Jim?
No, sir.
Can I have a motion to close the public hearing on this ordinance only?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-25?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis?
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy?
Yes.
Councilmember Facey Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Forrest?
Yes.
Councilmember Janone?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Triano
Yes.
and Mayor Portman.
Yes. Next up is an introduction of ordinance 2025-26 entitled an ordinance amending chapter 680 vehicles and traffic to revise time-limited parking and drop-off zone regulations in proximity to 273 Shrewsbury Avenue. I believe this is the Thrive project, Jim, is that correct? Right, yeah. So we're just modifying the parking in front of the new neurodivergent housing that's going up on Shrewsbury Avenue.
I'd also note this is consistent with the land use approval and also requested by Monmouth County Planning Board,
Yes.
so it's not just us.
Thank you. Important details. Can I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-26 on introduction?
Yes. So moved.
I have a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis,
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy,
Yes.
Councilmember Facey Blackwood,
Yes.
Councilmember Forrest,
Yes.
Councilmember Janone,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Trigiano,
Yes.
and Mayor Portman.
Yes. Public hearing and adoption will be on 8/28 for this ordinance. Next up is an ordinance for introduction, ordinance 2025-27 entitled an ordinance creating a new chapter 303 construction dust control to require containment of construction dust and microplastics. Can I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-27 on introduction?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis,
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy,
Yes.
Councilmember Facey Blackwood,
Yes, at the request of the Environmental Commission, definitely.
Councilmember Forrest,
Yes.
Councilmember Janone,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Trigiano,
Yes.
and Mayor Portman.
Yes, and I just want to point out again, as someone in the construction business, I definitely want to make sure that the language and the requirements are something that are simple to accomplish for the builder. We're trying to streamline things in Red Bank and make building for residents, for everyone, not such a hassle. So I want to make sure that this is kind of goes along with that direction, but yes,
They are. Mayor.
right, thank you.
Mayor, I will say, so the bulk of this language was taken from Maplewood's ordinance. The one thing that was struck from it after myself and Councilwoman Blackwood reviewed it, was that it had prison time placed in Maplewood's ordinance if this was not followed. We obviously struck that from their version of the ordinance. I did share the same concerns as you, but after reading it, I did believe that the solutions were extremely simple. It was like, hey, if you make a huge pile of microplastics, back it up. It was really, really, really simple language to understand. And most of it was, it was easy to understand. So yeah, review it. It's one page. It's really digestible, and my fears were dissipated once I reviewed what the Environmental Commission was proposing.
Excellent, thank you.
I could like to add one more thing, that there is a website that is up here, and I have some flyers that can be posted to the borough website that explains what construction dust is and how you can contain it as well. And it's simple things, like use a vacuum, use a tent when you're cutting, clean up when you're done, use a tarp underneath, so the dust doesn't go flying around and into our stormwater drains.
Use a wet saw when you can, really.
It's straightforward.
Thank you. There'll be a public hearing on this ordinance on August 28th. Next up, we have a bunch of resolutions. Does anyone need to pull any of these out, or can we approve them on the consent agenda?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, 25-162 is approval of the fire department's LoSAP benefit. I'd like that separate.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that one now first then. Can I have a motion to approve 25-162?
I'll make such a motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis,
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy,
Abstain.
Councilmember Facey Blackwood,
Yes.
Councilmember Forrest,
Yes.
Councilmember Janone,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Trigiano,
Abstain.
and Mayor Portman.
Yes.
Thank you.
There's a bunch here too. Does any of these now need to be highlighted, or can we do these on the consent agenda? Just take a moment.
Mayor, I'm okay with them going en masse.
Yeah, me
I reviewed them all.
Okay, then can I have a motion to approve 25-161 through 25-179 minus 25-162 under the consent agenda?
I make such a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis,
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy,
Yes.
Councilmember Facie Blackwood,
Yes.
Councilmember Forrest,
Yes.
Councilmember Janone,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Trigiano,
Yes.
Mayor Portman.
Yes. We have a bunch of events happening, waiting for our approval. If everyone's okay, I'll just read them out. First is a health fair to the Wesleyan community on August 28th. That one is tentative, subject to a few reviews. There's the end of summer youth rock concert at Riverside Gardens Park on August 29th from 7 to 9. The Elm Place Block Party on Sunday, September 6th from 9 to 10 with a rain date of the 13th. The Red Bank Townwide Yard Sale on September 13th, rain date is September 14th. The Hispanic Heritage Committee at Riverside Gardens Park is requesting a time change for their celebration on September 14th. New time will be 2 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Later.
There's a Count Basie Sidewalk event, which is the first Hall of Fame inductee ceremony on Thursday, September 25th from 10 to 1. The South Street Block Party is Saturday, September 27th from 4 to 10 with a rain date of September 28th. Leonardo Jewelers is having their grand opening on Thursday, October 16th. It'll all be inside. 180 Turning Lives Around is doing Paint the Town Purple for the month of October. The West Side Tree Lighting at Johnny Jazz Park will be on December 5th, and the Record Riot Street Fair on Mechanic Street will be Sunday, September 14th. Everyone good?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, next up, can I have a motion to open the floor for public comment?
Make such a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, this is a public comment for anything that's on your mind, whether it's on the agenda or not. Yes, sir.
There you go. It's working.
Yes. Hello again, Charles and again,
Working.
165 Spring Street. Since I'm here, I would like to first commend that gentleman over there. Public Works, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Specifically, Marine Park is gonna become a public works nightmare. Maintaining that property. You got a big commitment coming up. And just want to make sure that your crew and whatnot is prepared.
Just to clarify, he's not on the Public Works. He's a councilman who was just speaking in favor of the Public Works.
Okay, I'm speaking in favor then too. Next is the safety of the crosswalks on Maple Ave. I know it is owned by the state, but it's still Red Bank's responsibility to lay back down those crosswalks before there is an accident. The vehicles do not pay attention to signs. And then next are the Marine Park issues. The infrastructure has to keep up with the aesthetics of the park. I understand it's gonna be beautiful, but as an instance, do we need a hammock? Do we need a zip line? Is there water management issues? And those all have to be addressed. So we have to space also specifically, what about the liability of having a zip line?
Just to be clear, the zip line's about 2 feet off the ground. It's not like a suspended in the trees. It's like a short little.
Okay, all right. I'm
Kitty,
just
right,
making
kitty
sure that
tool.
everybody is protected.
Yes.
Okay, the hammock and what is, that's another issue. The playground, hammock, waste management, water management, and the restroom facilities, will they be able to handle the foot traffic that comes in? That building is very, very small. It's maintained by as well as it can be. But are you prepared for the folks that are gonna come to use that park? It's becoming a big park.
I believe we're ready.
You ready? Okay, so that is my concern, our liability, water management, waste management, and also the maintenance of the park.
Amen.
And
Yeah.
I'll let you go after that.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience.
You got it. All right, thank you.
Just
Thank
hit that button again.
Good, there we go.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? Yes.
Hey,
Hello.
you guys doing? Good. Hi, my name is Linda Clark. I'm actually.
hit the button.
Sorry, good button.
Button on the microphone.
This thing?
There we go.
Okay.
Yep.
My name is Linda Clark. I'm a homeowner over at Cedar Crossing. I've been here before and I've seen some familiar faces.
Yes.
That have come to our meetings, even when we had them at Calvary Baptist Church or even over at, basically as far as sometimes even at the, I can't even think of the room, but at the Evergreen Terrace. So we had voting and everything. So there's been some issues. I know as far as from time to time, I've read articles in the newspaper and some of it's kind of like concerning. Some of it is basically as far as been something I hadn't had a chance to come down here. For the past 2 years, I've been taking care of my mom before she passed, Memorial Day weekend. So that's really as far as a precedent issue for me. It's still difficult. But I just felt it was a need for me to come address along with a couple of the homeowners that are here. Some of them couldn't make it to the meeting. I know I got 3 minutes, but it's just basically as far as
Take your time.
it's some issues that have been going on prior to the new people that have been over there, such as Lisa. Some of it has been continuously going on since Lisa has been there. We tried to address certain situations, but Cedar Crossing is not functioning properly. That's the easiest thing I could say. I know as far as there was one election, and I did speak prior to when we had the meeting at Calvary, and there were people that even came to the election at one point. But even at that course, that was the first time that we've ever had an election
For
in
your,
13 years. Correct.
yeah, for your HOA, yeah.
Exactly. And then as far as some people have gotten frustrated because of the fact that it hadn't been something where we've been able to kind of even get communication, whether it was from different people prior to Lisa. I think it was a guy named Snyder and different people that had that position over from Red Bank Housing and being able to act as far as assist us. There's not been proper communication even with this board. Right now, I believe we might have 3 members instead of 5. Because the one guy, Mike, who might have actually met with some of the board members down here as far as council, just as well as the other guy, I believe, Chris, I don't even think they're living there anymore. And sometimes it feels as if like, oh, okay, we joined this board for our personal reasons so we can sell our homes. And now all of a sudden we're out and whatever's left over there, just keep on doing what you guys are doing. So people have frustration in terms of as far as like some of the proper or improper billing or even just what's going on with the money in a sense. Basically, as far as even the maintenance of the property, I know even down by where I live, it's dark at night. The lights are not working. If I didn't have lights from the brownstones, it wouldn't even be something that you could see out there because the trees have overgrown and it's so dark over there. So safety is an issue. Just as well as I see a car that's parked out there that is plugged up from the back of their house to be able to charge the Tesla at night. So when you look at lawsuits, if somebody walks through and trips over that, that's a big issue. So as far as even just trying to say that we do need some assistance from the board. In terms of even, like I said, with the money, there's been issues where people have paid a lot of money towards these maintenance fees and basically as far as not even knowing what's been going on with the money. I know as far as my personal situation right now, I'm dealing with the court situation where I'm actually as far as appealing to the court in Trenton. And even just looking at, I believe as far as even with Abadella, is the attorney somehow or another was hired. Prior to that, it was 2 different attorneys. Oops.
Don't worry about that.
Okay, there were 2 different attorneys that were involved, but nothing has ever been resolved. So even just requesting some assistance on that matter, personally for me, we can kind of talk about it probably personally, like, you know, not in front of everybody, but at the same time, something to try to get some resolve to this because of the fact this has been going on since like 2021. I've reached out to the NAACP. I've reached out to Monmouth County as far as the legal services. There's different things I've been trying to do, and it's hard to me to say that I've grown up in Red Bank all my life. No, Todd is my aunt. So when I see lunch break and a lot of things that have been going on, I've come from a family that's actually as far as done a lot of service. And as far as when I see all these buildings being built up around here and people as far as even asking money and taxes to be written off, and I look at over here, we're talking about $60,000 to $80,000 about maintenance fees that people are saying are overdue and blame it on the homeowners. That's not necessarily true. In terms of the fact, when you look at these bylaws, some of these bylaws have not been filed properly. And so when I say as far as the people that are on this committee, they look at certain ones that they want to actually as far as focus on, they ignore the other ones. And those are the ones that they're ignoring are not actually as far as something that we feel are properly something that we need to be held accountable for. If you're going to look at things fairly, look at it fairly. But let's not just sit there and say, oh, the homeowners didn't do this, the homeowners did this. Because in fact, if we looked at those bylaws, anybody would not have been taken past a year. And follow through. So how would we get to $60,000 to $80,000? I've been meaning to come down here a long time ago. Then when we say as far as there hadn't been certain people on these committees that hadn't been trying to help
there have been people, as far as even within those committees, that know about these situations. And some of them, I believe in December of a year or so ago, were removed from those positions. So I've been following a lot of things that have been going on. It's just that the frustration level has been hard. And you guys were at the meeting. It's fair to say to me, you should get on the board. They should vote you guys on. They purposely didn't vote us on. That's probably been one of the things, meetings that we had where it was basically as far as different homeowners that showed up. Even when we had that meeting at Calvi, that's probably the most anybody has actually shown up because the communication was there. Now we have a website. Now we have, as far as even these notices that kind of come out once in the blue moon to us. But it's as if the homeowner's not even realizing and understanding that we are the homeowners of a residence. We're not public housing as far as in terms, we're affordable housing, but we're not public housing as if like we live in the projects. When we look at Abadella, or we even look at as far as the housing itself, we've really hired them to help us do property management. But it seems because the board members don't understand what's supposed to go on, they're listening to them, tell them what they want to do, and they're just following through with it. So the roles have been reversed. And we're just going to focus on what we want to focus on, even though we're not calling it that. It has been happening. So as far as it's just looking to see if somebody can help and intervene on those behalf, on behalf of the homeowners.
And this has been, I mean, Jim has been handling, and I'm gonna let him speak to it, but we've been actively trying to figure out what we can do to support you. And Jim, I'll let you.
And just before that, I do know as far as some of the homeowners, they couldn't be here tonight. They've been getting letters now from a CPA. So somewhere along the lines, a CPA has been handing out letters saying that you owe certain fees that might not even be something that they owe. There's basically, as far as in person the audience, they got a letter a while back, and it was basically something where, because these books that have been created as ledgers were not books that have been followed through for the past 13 years. You can't create a ledger. We can take you to court right now and sit there and say, as far as the judge is not going to say that that's honored as an official document because you pieced together some books and you want to sit there and present them to a CPA as a ledger. So those are things, as far as I'm saying, like we know, but it's basically as far as the frustration from time to time. A lot of people get a little nervous about speaking to you guys directly. There's been issues with the taxes. I do have paperwork here just to hand because of the fact that we've been trying to get some assistance with that as well. So I don't know if I can give this to you.
Give us whatever you want.
Gotcha.
Hang on, I know.
I was just gonna say, actually, it was kind of a good segue what you said at the end, as far as the books and the ledgers and things like that. There's kind of two steps that need to happen first before we can even determine what our role in this is. And you know that there's obviously the issues because you are your own condo association. So where government comes in, you got to find our place. What we did agree to do, and this governing body talked about and agreed to do, was support and fund the audit of Cedar Crossing, which I don't know if that one had ever been done.
That came up at the meeting, and it was so weird because when we did it, I had asked for that over and over, and they fought me sitting there saying it's going to cost too much money. It was as if
we're paying.
Yeah. But at the same time, what you're auditing are books that were created most likely by Lisa, because during certain meetings that we had when we were on Zoom, and I probably have to take on my camera, it was as if like she was letting us know that she was putting together ledgers for each homeowner.
Listen, these are professional auditing services that are paid for. They're, that'll, whatever the concerns are, will come out in audit. Secondly, what the borough has agreed to pay for through Affordable Housing Trust Funds is the reserve study that's needed as well for the condo association, for people that actually sell their homes to get mortgages, not have to pay cash for affordable housing, property.
Yeah.
Which is kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Someone just did it. I just found out when sitting it, somebody else just sold it.
Wild.
Right.
So it was as if like people that are actually looking towards doing it for affordable housing reasons and helping to set up, some people just didn't understand what the process is. Some of it might not be reading through these bylaws and seeing what's actually as far as supposed to be held accountable. The other part is more or less like for 13 years prior to this board, they held on to it. No one was actually taking that invested interest. So now all of a sudden, when we take that interest, let's just sit there and blame the homeowners when it really wasn't the homeowners. You have 3 or 4 people that were on the board making decisions, and some of them were confused. And now all of a sudden they're listening to people that they shouldn't really be listening to. So when you see someone come up there, they're looking at as the problem instead of trying to sit there and say, actually, you need to listen to what I'm saying, because there's a little bit more to this than what's actually being meet.
Bugs under rocks.
I mean, I've had
Yes.
bugs under rocks, exactly. I've had several meetings with the Division of Consumer Affairs.
Yes, we reached out to them. We actually put a complaint in as far as ask for an investigation.
I've had meetings with
Yes.
them about Cedar Crossing and NJHMFA about the actual mortgages that happen there. So we've had several meetings,
Mhm.
set things up, see what we need to get in motion. And again, we're balancing that line of where government gets involved.
Mhm.
Are you, as a Cedar Crossing resident and potential home, association member maybe, and the board where you're.
The services of the housing authority.
Mhm.
Services the housing authority, what they are deed restricted to do,
Mhm.
they're balancing their line as well too. So there's
In a lot of ways, they've been balancing it, but some of those meetings that we're not privileged to or hadn't been for years have been decisions being made for us by 2 or 3 people that don't even understand this process. And we've been held accountable. At the same time, you have people sitting here saying, as far as like, I paid all this money and I can't even get the bushes trimmed. I know people came down here and talked about the power washing on housing, but I'm saying that there's bigger issues, not saying that those are not important, but there are some very serious issues going on. And when you sit there and see somewhere along the lines in Red Bank, all this building going up around you, millions of dollars, and you're talking about as far as people asking for tax write-offs of millions of dollars, and here we are being held accountable for $60,000 to $80,000. That looks crazy to me. I lived on the east side. I've grown up on the west side. I've seen Red Bank. So for me to see something like that and to say, okay, we're going to put you in this bind and we're just going to blame you. You guys handle that. That's how it's feeling right now for a lot of people. And somehow or another, that's why I say as far as something has to happen, and it can't just be, oh, the board is saying we're listening unofficially to Abadella, or we're listening to as far as Lisa. And Lisa's not the most friendliest person at times. She's been very rude to me. That's why as far as I just actually just wipe my hands of that conversation. And so somewhere along the lines, the professionalism has to come across because of the fact that we have people that would want to actually as far as get involved. And some of them basically as far as get intimidated from that stuff. And it's not fair.
Well, I'll say that this governing body, myself included, we've done a lot of work on this. Nothing more than had been done in 13 years, just in the last year. So, it's not swept under the rug anymore. I think a lot of things were brought to light that we listened to.
Yep.
And I remember when the mayor first brought me in a meeting in his office and said, hey, come on, you got to hear what's going on here. And then we started digging in to see what we can do to help dig out. So I think that unfortunately, it is a long process. It's not.
I just want to jump in for 1 second. I think because there's a lot more of this to get to, and I just want to keep our meeting running. Will you just either exchange numbers with me, or let's just set up a meeting this week where we can sit down, we'll put an hour aside and we can just go over any of your concerns and let you know in more detail what we've been trying to do.
Oh, okay, but I'm hoping somewhere along the lines, even with the homeowners, maybe a couple more might want to come out.
Anyone's welcome to come. Yeah, we'll set up a meeting.
And we even tried to put as far as even like a steering committee together just because things were not happening properly. So it was just like even just trying to do certain things. It's just like something has to give. And even just to say as far as like I don't have time for me to be actually as far as going back and forth to Trenton and filing. You could see the stuff, you would have thought I had a murder case going on right now from 2021 up until now. And it's just basically as far as like in all fairness, like, let's be fair about this, let's be reasonable, but just not let's sweep it under the rug. And now all of a sudden, I believe the attorney Abadella is filing paperwork that she's struggling to do because there's some deficiencies that are coming back. But at the same time, like it shouldn't have to take this much to be able to actually as far as get to resolve. And I know as far as some people, even just before I wrap up, they have it where there are, like I guess through Section 8, like certain fees are paid through government funding. And that's actually an issue. So has it really been going towards as far as Cedar Crossing, or even when you're doing as far as certain settlements with certain people, like how does that even get handled? So these are just certain things I'm saying, like no one's bringing to your attention, even though it's not something that's number one on your agenda. It's just like, oh, okay, if we don't speak about it down here, it goes on deaf ears. You can speak to as far as like a board member that's on that board. Now the ones that actually, like I said, as far as out of the 5, 2 of them have actually out of the 13 years that they sat there, had to be reappointed by Lisa or whoever, just because they couldn't find other people that were interested because the frustration level is so high right up now. So I would look forward to that for sure.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Just do me a favor, just hit that button on the microphone too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I just want to give you.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? Public, any topic? Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Just hit that button again,
There's 2 things. One is it's quick, which is
We just do me a favor, just restate.
sorry, at O'Neill, 40 Herbert Street. But one gentleman earlier talked about the crossings at Maple Avenue. I cross it every day. It's a real problem. It's an accident waiting to happen, particularly with kids. Kids come from either St. James or middle school or whatever, and they cross. And people totally ignore the light. they blow through. Sometimes they accelerate. They get through it almost like it's a yellow light.
Which intersection are you talking about, Mr. Owens?
It's
Maple.
Avenue near Peter's Place
This place,
and Catherine.
Mhm.
It's a flashing
Catherine?
light.
the bad corner.
Whatever this, I know it's a state highway.
Yeah.
So whatever the state would suggest doing,
The county commissioners.
whatever to slow the people down, it's really bad. I was almost hit today.
Are you talking about when they removed the striping with for the resurfacing?
Yeah, so you press the button, but nobody stops.
Oh, so there's no striping on Maple Avenue. That's what you're saying.
No, and I don't.
By
think striping should be
Peters.
enough anyway, personally.
I know, I almost got hit
That's
there
our
too.
state-
I know that
state
innocent.
controls. I don't know whether the state has a
Flashers.
suggestion.
Flashes, but everybody
Somebody can reach
ignores it.
out to the state and ask them what could be done.
Johnny Mega.
At the Y, there's no crossing either.
Yeah.
Well, I know that they resurfaced
Yeah.
the road there. They may just not have done the repaint.
There are,
Yeah.
Been a while.
They're in the process of repainting. You can see in different areas
Yeah.
of town, but, so I just wanted
Oakland
to
just got
reinforce
repainted.
what that gentleman said. The second is a question, which is, who does one talk to about invasive species of plant life overgrowing onto their property? And mine is bamboo.
That would be code. I actually was the person that introduced the ordinance about invasive species, including bamboo. So if you actually just Google bamboo invasive species red bank, it'll come up in in Google.
I had that.
Yeah.
I don't know who.
Authority is code enforcement.
Okay, thank you very much.
Anyone else have any questions or comments?
Hello. Hi, I'm Andy Hannigan.
You can get real close.
Hi, Mandy Hannigan, 66 Oakland Street. This is a comment. I wasn't sure if it was appropriate, but I think it is, and it's regarding the train station redevelopment plan. But it's regarding the parking in that area and specifically on Oakland Street. I just wanted to remind people, I think there's a misconception that that parking lot is not very much used for the train during the day, but it is very much used in the evenings when there are events going on in town and with the Armory. But I just want to start like putting the radar out there about parking enforcement on Oakland Street specifically, because there are a lot of houses on our part of the block that either don't have driveways or they have to share driveways or they can only fit one car in their driveway. So I actually have a call in and I'm gonna follow up with traffic and safety. I didn't get a call back yet, but there's no 2-hour parking sign on our side. So I really want them to put that up. It's on the other side of the street, but we have a lot of people that come and park and just walk over to the train and don't have to pay the daily parking lot fee. So, you know, I know it's summertime, it's a little bit slower, but it's problematic when you come home with your groceries and you can't find parking. And I just see it will get worse once the new building gets built. So I think if they can install the 2-hour parking sign, that would be really helpful. Get out there more with the enforcement. And I don't know the current status, but I know a few years back, we went to get like an updated parking sticker for our car. And I think they said, no, it's fine. So mine actually says 2017 on it. Mine too. Okay. So, but maybe going forward, we need to, especially if we're going to get a lot more residents coming and living here. I know the town website directs people to the parking lot train station so it's like, what's going to happen when that building gets built and everyone's going to come take parking on residential streets? It's going to be frustrating for a period of time. And if it becomes even more of a problem, then maybe we could consider making that part of Oakland Street, resident only.
Yeah.
Not even the 2-hour, I don't know, it's something to consider.
Thank you.
Mandy, just for clarification, you're on the north side of Oakland, but the south side of Oakland has the 2-hour parking? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions or comments? One second.
William Poco again.
Turn the
Turn
microphone on.
mic on.
How'd you do that?
Hit the button on the
Third button.
where your finger is, right below it, that one.
Yep.
Boom.
Thank you.
William Poco again, 90 Bank Street. Mr. Cannon, I just want to find out whether you understand that I had a settlement with the town with respect to property assessment.
Okay.
Okay, all right, just on the record, so I just wanted to know whether you know about that.
So Mr. Clark is the tax appeal attorney, that's who you're settling with?
Yes.
So I generally don't track every single case, but I'm sure if Mr. Clark says it's okay, that's his job in the law department, so I'm sure it's fine.
Okay, all right. So basically, the tax court acknowledges the argument that I made that the ADP, which Red Bank has adopted, is in conflict with the Freeze Act. That was the argument that I brought to court. And basically, I'm saying this now to tell mayor and council that you need to start thinking about getting out of the ADP, opt out of the ADP. I mean, that request has been made in the past. And to kind of illustrate to you, I was talking to the chief of police when he doing some work on Bank Street. There's a $1.2 million property, asking price, plopped on Bank Street. And it's assessed at $161,000. So if you could kindly pass this over to the mayor. When I said that to the chief, he said, what? Okay. So basically, what happens is the luxury properties get plopped into Red Bank. Their assessments are low and everything around them goes up. Not protected by the Freeze Act. So that was the argument that was brought to the tax court in Trenton. And the judge bought that argument. And the town had a settlement reducing my tax assessment accordingly. So that's one thing that I believe that town should think about seriously. So a whole bunch of folks that have their taxes going up as their assessments go up. And they don't understand what's going on. And this is something that we need to start looking at. Mr. Forrest here, for instance, said one time that if he was trying to get into Red Bank today, he couldn't afford it.
I've said that more than once, Mr. Poco.
And we need to look into that, you know, and lastly, you heard Linda Clark speak. And basically the Red Bank NAACP has been hand-holding her, helping her through the various courts. And she's currently in the appellate division of Superior Court, trying to handle some of the things that are going on in Cedar Crossing. And you came to a meeting one time that was moderated by the NAACP. Basically, we don't have a resolution. And I'm saying that as we keep on building, we need to think more about adding more of the Cedar Crossings, Locust, Bandon, middle housing. And until you engage with the NAACP, you're not going to get the input that you need as far as that's concerned. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you just hit that button, please, for me, Mr. Poku?
All right, thank you.
Those.
Hello, Mayor and Council. Thank you for speak.
Just say your name for the record.
My name is Louis Andriano. I own the Napoli Italian Kitchen, 10 Wallace Street, Red Bank. And I'm here to speak about the Broadwalk and what it's done to our businesses outside of the Broadwalk, the perimeter of the Broadwalk. I put together a group of us, restaurants that see a direct correlation when the Broadwalk is very busy, specifically when it's nice outside. We see our reservations, our business dramatically decrease. This is definitely by far the worst year we've ever seen, and you could see in the action in the pedestrian traffic at the Broadwalk, and then you look at our businesses. It's incredibly difficult to do business when the Broadwalk is active. In June, when the weather was raining every weekend, it wasn't as dramatic. But once the weather turned, it became very dramatic. The numbers I've never seen. I can't speak for everybody, but I've never seen business this slow before. And you see, the irony is, if you speak to some of the businesses on Broadwalk, they're incredibly upset as well. So they want to see the Broadwalk in some capacity either done with or shrunk. And on top of that, Red Bank is an incredibly difficult town, as we all know, when it comes to parking. When you compare Red Bank to other towns that are comparable to us, like Summit, Westfield, Cranford, Metuchen, they stop their parking at 6 o'clock. We continue ours till 9. So Red Bank makes it very difficult for us that are not in the Broadwalk, and that, especially a business like mine on a side street, just makes it very difficult for us to fill up our venues. It's just, we're here to thrive, not just to survive. I'm in my 10th year now, and this is by far the most difficult year I've ever seen. And you could see as the Broadwalk gets more popular, it takes away from us. Yeah. And there's a direct correlation to that. And if you simply leave my place at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and you turn left and you look at Monticello, if you look at some of the places in Broadwalk or Centrata, Catch 26 West, we're not that busy at all. But then when you turn the corner and you look at Vieravino, Nicholas, Gabriella's, Coliseum, places are packed. And there's a reason. They have free parking. We cannot
I will
compete.
say, Billy just told me they're having their best year ever at 26 West. I was in there a couple weeks ago. Just asked them. So
That's
yeah.
unfortunately, Red Bank can't do anything. We have a liquor license issue in New Jersey. I would love to have a liquor license. I'd be speaking a different tone.
I'd love you to have one too.
Yeah.
But the issue for us, as we see it, the Broadwalk makes things incredibly difficult. It favors those businesses inside Broadwalk, and 26 West is very good proximity. They have a liquor license. It's different. We see it impacting us negatively. And then on top of that, when your customers are constantly complaining, Louis, I just got a ticket. They write us off. They just say it's very difficult for us to be a patron, to patronize you. And for me, I do big parties. I can't do a big party during the week. If a party of 50 or 75 comes to me, they say, Louis, where are we gonna park on a Wednesday, Tuesday, Friday, or what have you? I don't have an answer for them. It's difficult to park in Red Bank, especially during the day. So we're looking for Red Bank to help us fill up our seats. We just want to succeed in this town. We want to do incredibly well in this town. We want to grow as the town is growing. We don't want to struggle. We're not here to struggle. And it just doesn't relate to me as an individual, as the owner. It trickles down to all our staff. It's tough to hold on to staff, the servers, all those employees that we have when we're not doing the numbers that we certainly know we can do or we've done when the Broadwalk is not active. So thank you for your time. If you have anything to say, I'm here to listen.
Thank you. Do me a favor, just hit that button on the. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Yes. Come on up, sir.
There you go.
Where should I? Bring that little boost there.
I assume it's open to any kind of comment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just hit that button on the microphone so we can hear you.
This one?
That's it.
Right there?
Just saying your name and.
Okay, William Meyer, I have 12 Monmouth Street, Red Bank. I've been here since, significantly since the 70s. Do I have to, okay, sorry. I have three things I want to go over. First of all, today I witnessed something that I never thought I'd see in Red Bank. And that was a gentleman, a young kid on an e-bike who was looking as and operating as if he intentionally wanted to be arrested. He went down from Monmouth Street, from the intersection of Broad and Monmouth. He went north on the west side of Broad Street sidewalk at 35 miles an hour. He accelerated. This had to be a souped up battery on that bike. He got down to he went so fast, I couldn't take a picture of him. He got down to where this Broad Walk is, where you cut off Broad Street. And then he stopped as if he was posing in front of the barriers there on Broad Street. After I asked the woman who had the store there if she had seen it, she said yes. She goes, I don't know what to do. He then got on the bike after what I would assume is posing or something, arresting, and he proceeded at a high rate of speed, going south on Broad Street, pulling a wheelie, and then making a turn against the red light and sliding his bike out and going down Monmouth Street. By the time I got to Monmouth Street and looked down the road, he was almost by the red light. This kid had to be doing 45 miles an hour down Monmouth Street easily. I tried calling the police. I was so nervous I got the wrong police department. I have more on speed dial. I'm an attorney. And I gave them the information. But it would be incredibly difficult to catch this kid. But it's getting worse every single day. You need to force people who are going to ride e-bikes. And there were two kids that I had stopped that were in pizza slice on the table at Monmouth Street after he shot down. And I had asked them, I said, you guys can't ride your e-bikes on the sidewalk. And then they were arguing with me about it, but then they were semi-polite and they sat down and they had something to eat. I asked them, I said, do you know that guy? No, we saw him, but we don't know who he is. And it's not gonna be easy for the police to catch him. In the years before, there were police on the street in Red Bank when I first came here in the 70s and 80s. That's not a bad thing to have. It's probably a good thing. You probably need to have cameras. And I know there's an issue about having cameras, but in the overall, you need to get control. And there's no control over these. Now, another thing that bothered me significantly was when I went through the news one morning, not too long ago, and found out that Red Bank was on the front page of New York City newspapers. And they were on the front page because somebody who allegedly was an illegal alien, who allegedly had 2 DWI arrests and locally, I assume, and allegedly had a conviction or a arrest for domestic violence. And he, in Neptune, killed 2 people, legal immigrants, a mother, a daughter, and put the other daughter in critical care in the hospital. Now, that is not a good look for Red Bank, in my opinion. And I have a question. I want to know, are the police handcuffed in the sense of being able to get rid of criminals who are here illegally? Because these people would be alive today if we had gotten rid of this guy after his second DWI. I mean, the third DWI from doing legal work, you go to Monmouth County Jail, I think, for 6 months or 9 months. I forget. Council may know better what the penalty is for that. But to have someone like that running around, and it's not the first time I've heard of things that are outrageous. I have a gentleman who is a structural engineer and has a construction company.
Way over 3 minutes. I don't know where we're going.
We just,
We have a timer trying to go, just so we can keep it going. Just real quick, I believe the DUIs hadn't even gone to court yet. Just the courts are backed up. So, and that's, I believe, statewide. There's a massive logjam on DWIs. I imagine, that wouldn't have happened if he had just gone to court. I mean, the two of them happened almost back to back, I believe.
Okay, well, that's a real bad sign.
Right.
And in
Just
theory,
in courts, it's statewide.
in theory, and if we're gonna be proactive, which we should be, and having done defense work for DWIs and been on both sides of it, I'll be the first guy to call in and tell somebody the guys are all over the road, pull them over. And I'll also, and I have defended them. But if you have somebody where you have a high blood alcohol content, even though he hasn't been convicted yet, and you know that he's here illegally, and then he has a second one.
I understand what you're saying, but this is other than him living in Red Bank, the court, this all goes through the county and the state. It's really.
And if your question is about if there's a sanctuary law that is preventing ICE from coming into Red Bank and taking people because they committed a crime, there is no such law that does that.
I'm glad to hear that.
That Governor Murphy ever made. There is no law that any municipality ever made. There is nothing that has ever done that or prevented that. I need to just make that abundantly clear for anybody in this audience. I think it is very important as we enter into a very heated election system and season for people to understand that there is no law that prevents ICE from going into any town, regardless of if the town ever said that they were inclusive or welcoming to people. Nothing that has ever prevented ICE from doing their jobs. So that is very important for people to understand.
Does the Red Bank Police Department, the chief and the gentlemen that are operating in higher ranks in the police department realize or know that they have carte blanche to get in touch with ICE or to investigate people who are illegal, who have a couple of potential DWIs and a domestic violence? I mean,
I love educating people on this issue. Anybody who ever wants to talk about immigration or the immigrant community, this is something that is very close to me, and I love educating people on this. The answer is no. Red Bank Police do not communicate with ICE. That was a directive that started in 2018. It's called the Immigrant Trust Directive. Reason being, you need people in your community to call the police if something goes wrong. You need them to trust their local police department if something goes wrong, and they need to trust their police. They need to be able to call their police if something happens. That keeps your entire community safer. It does not prevent ICE or any of the now deputized federal agencies from performing whatever their duties now seem to be. But it makes it so that our police focus on what they joined the force to do, which is to protect our communities and to focus on their jobs and to not be focusing on things that are not their jobs. So like I said, if anybody would like to get educated on this issue or understand how enforcement works, I'm available anytime. And we've discussed this many times. We have known each other since 2014. Since before I was in office. So, I'm happy to talk with you about this anytime. I have a lot of people here and we should move.
I understand you, but that doesn't help the people who are dead from this. And
Mr. Myers, just to please keep this meeting moving, the Red Bank Police Department, as Deputy Mayor Trigano said, follows the Immigrant Trust Directive issued by the Attorney General of the state of New Jersey. I will let you research that as an attorney on your own time, but this conversation needs to move on at this point.
All right, that may very well be a mistake.
There was a very good article written by Brian Donahue about breathalyzers and the problem with breathalyzers in Red Bank Green that I learned so much from. I just thanked him before the meeting that there's been a backlog of DUIs because the breathalyzers in the state are not. So there's like a really big backup across the state. It was a really good article.
Well, there are other factors that come into play, and I've done some very serious accident work with body camera video. And all you need to address an issue like this is body camera video. You gotta be pragmatic. I used to work for people who had restaurants and bars when I was younger in college. And we could tell who was loaded, and we would take care of the situation, and no one ever got hurt. We should be doing that in Red Bank. I think the system that you're describing, Kate, is defective.
Is effective. Yep.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ken Zockel. I've been a resident in Red Bank since 2014. And I just want to comment on what Lou had to say earlier. I think a lot of us agree in this room that boardwalk is a great concept for the town, right? But at the same time, it presents a very unfair economic disadvantage to the businesses outside that area, right? And so I also suspect that, if you look at your location analytics, right, they're down year over year, right? So if you think about it, in essence, you don't have that problem, but you also have a problem getting people into town now. All I would suggest is that as long as Boardwalk is open, you roll back parking until 6 p.m. That'll make everyone happy, and we can move on from there.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Good to see you. God bless.
Drew Logan, Place. Just real quick comment on Broadwalk. There's been a lot of negative comments regarding Broadwalk. I just want to put on the record, Broadwalk was a defining factor for why my girlfriend and I moved here last year. When we were visiting, we were like, we loved visiting Red Bank, but would we like living here? When we came to visit in the summer, the Broadwalk is one of the major reasons that sold it for us. Before we had any apartment picked out or even started looking at them, we were like, this is great. This gives us that community vibe that we were getting up in Manhattan and that we've gotten in other places that we've lived. My girlfriend was previously in Baltimore. A lot of similar vibes down there where they have areas closed down and people walking around. And I can appreciate that I don't know the statistics on whether or not it hurts the businesses not in Broadwalk, but just because something is elevating businesses in one area doesn't necessarily mean it's taking away from other ones, but it's my uneducated opinion. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody? Yes, sir.
There actually is data on it, and it shows that Broadwalk has increased business in the entire borough.
Well, just to add, my name is.
Can you just say your name?
23 Wallace. And to add to this gentleman's thing is, me and my fiance moved to Red Bank because we want to be in a kind of a city feeling, but not too noisy. And by closing the boardwalk, we're getting all the traffic with the cars either going left on Starbucks or right on Wallace to like midnight, 1 a.m. And it does cause a lot of noise to wake us, especially where we live on the corner. So just to add a little bit, a remark. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, in the back.
Or I might stand or I could sit.
You can stand as long as you put that mic on and we can hear you.
Fred.
I don't know. I appreciate
You
you.
gotta hit the
the button.
on the mic, right on the base there.
It's actually a
Silver button.
It's
Silver button, turns.
Big one.
Now. All
right. Anyway, I appreciate being able to speak in front of all of you. I feel like I know some of you, some I don't. But what I do know about all of you.
Just state your name, please. Sorry.
My name is John, aka Johnny Pork Roll.
All right.
I own a business on 8A Monmouth Street. I started at your farmer's market 12 years ago and have gone on to somewhat statewide fame for some sandwich. So I established that I adore this town. It's meant a lot to me. I will give you as a way of background. I grew up in Spring Lake, which I hate saying because you think I'm some rich little prick from a rich town that votes Republican, but I'm not. I'm an open-minded guy. I've adored this town my entire life. Through high school, I went to St. Rose. Red Bank has been part of my life for years. I remember parking on my aunt's on Leroy Place to go to the sidewalk sale when that was a big to-do. So I adore this town, and I know every one of you adore this town. But this Broadwalk thing is bullshit, and it's got to be stopped. It makes no sense. I can't tell you the amount of people, residents and business owners that come into my store and say as such. I invite every one of you, come have a cup of coffee. I don't know if it's legally allowed, if I can give it to you, but come sit in my store and listen. I can tell you people from the West Side that have grown up their whole life and gone to high school when it was over where the middle school is. My daughter's just graduated Red Bank Regional. What I'm trying to say is I love this town, but Broadwalk is no good. It's fugazi. The idea that you started that before the kids got out of high school, suicide. Why would you do something like that when Red Bank Catholic, Red Bank Regional, got all these kids zipping around? Not to echo Bill Meyer, but you're right. You need to do an ordinance on these e-bikes. Somebody's going to get taken out, like what happened at Teak. We're all sad about that. We don't want to see anybody hurt in our town. The one thing that this town has that no other town in this whole damn state has, it's safe to walk around. You can push your baby. You can bring your dog. You can bring your kid. That's why we love this town. But you guys are making it too big, too quick, and shutting that street down. I'm on record on Red Bank Green. You can check it out. When you did that during the pandemic, I said, if it's good for Red Bank, then I'm all for it. But it's not good for Red Bank anymore. It hurts business. The churn rate in this town is ridiculous. River Center is a joke. And I don't mean that to be mean. They served a purpose years ago. I remember them. Hey, we're doing brick sidewalks. We're doing the lights. We're doing the Jazz and Blues Festival. They made Red Bank relevant. But the idea that the business owners in this town have to pay into River Center to pay a $120,000 a year salary, pay an assistant $70,000, where's the ROI? Where's the metric? Show me the value creation, and I'll say, hey, what the hell do I know? All I got when I bitched about River Center a year ago was, John, everybody loves it. Look at the survey. That's not vetted. It wasn't paid for. You didn't call local residents. Hamilton Jewelers. I can't tell you the amount of business owners. They won't be here. They won't say anything because they don't want to make trouble. What I'm saying is you need to rethink that thing because it's not right. I get doing it maybe once a month, make it a unique experience. But to shut that street down and destroy our town, I'm going to steal a line from the Palestinian movement. From the river to Broad Street, Red Bank needs to be fucking free. I'm serious. You have hurt the town with this, and you continue to do it. And as a business owner and a guy that survived in 500 square feet, how I don't know. I'm not a sit-down $300 dinner guy. I'm a little fucking $10, $12 guy. It's ridiculous what you're doing, and you're hurting business. And if you hurt the downtown, you hurt Red Bank. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Yes.
Hello. This button?
It's
Already on. Already on. All right, my name is Catherine Giambalvo. I'm the owner of My name is Catherine Giambalvo. I'm the owner of Monticello Restaurant. I have been in this town for 17 years, and I think this is the first time that I actually come out and speak about the town. I never had a reason until now. I never had felt this struggle in 16 years until now. And I think the Broadwalk is so unethical for the businesses that are not inside. I think for all of you, this is the first time that you see my face in town. Adding park enforcement, the Broadwalk, and how aggressive it's being, the parking enforcement, my business is down at least 50%, if not more, which is critical and it is insane. Now, I've seen it with my own eyes. My restaurant is located exactly in front of the loading zone. Not too long ago, I got a ticket at 9:30 at nighttime. Went inside, it's a loading zone. I left the hazards of my car on. It's supposed to be a loading zone. It's supposed to go in, out, with loading. When I came out, not even 8 minutes or 10 minutes, I can't calculate, but it was no more than 10 minutes. I already had a ticket. And this is not the first time. Plenty of times, get tickets. In the meantime, they're walking. I'm just tapping on their shoulder. They have been kind enough to remove the ticket away. But this is crazy. I seen customers trying to drop off their elderly parents in the loading zone to walk to my restaurant. I see parking enforcement showing them, move, 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 move. Even my online business, which relies on drivers like DoorDash, the other companies, I forgot the names are not coming up. When they come into the store, they're like, hurry up, I don't want to get a ticket. This is the worst time. Nobody wants to pick up the food on the restaurant because they are totally afraid of getting a ticket. They explain to me, I make $10 on an order and I get a ticket of $38. And this is hurting, not just another thing that I just remember. Before the Broadwalk, we have a reservation system that is called Open Table. Now, before the Broadwalk, 70% of my business was coming from Open Table, which is the reservation system, and 30% of my business, it was coming from walking people. After the Broadwalk closing, I lost all of my walk-ins. Nobody's coming further up the town to come and check out different menus because everything, and it's all about the Broadwalk, music, marketing, everything is all focused down there. And they forgot that we have other business in town. I think it's so unethical that we left out all of these businesses that we're suffering the worst time. So we appreciate if you guys can take in consideration that it's been, 16 years. Nobody have seen my face. And this is the first time because this is really, really hurting all of us.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Anyone online, Jim?
There's one in the back.
One in the back.
Oh, yes, in the back. Oh, Mary.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. My name is Mary Bennett. I am the Executive Director for the Red Bank River Center. And I do want to express that unfortunately, there's a lot of factors here. Business overall in the state has been down. There was an article in the Asbury Park Press that has expressed it, that, between the economy, people choosing not to go out. So there's multiple factors. I do keep track of statistics on Broadwalk. We do planning all around our CID. I know I've been doing a lot of programming for the Broadwalk, but I also document data that shows people go there and then they walk around. So unfortunately, I think that there's a false narrative and you have to look at all the different variables that are going on in here. I do want to commend Kate and also the council members for meeting with us. I don't think anyone's ever said this is the solution. As we move away from COVID, we have to be adaptable. And I feel that this council has been reasonable and listening to those changes, and we will move forward and try to make those recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. Another hand started to go up. Yes.
Billy.
How's it on? Vasilis Agusti is my name at the Red Bank Diner. Broadwalk, I was against it from day one. Day one. I spoke about it 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Every year, as soon as that opens down there, on the weekends, my lunch is done. I've taken multiple pictures and I've shown them that I have 0 tables in my dining room. Where all winter I have the lines out the door. Talking about River Center's focusing on marketing on what? Broadwalk. You go on their page right now and show me one thing that is about any other local business other than Broadwalk. They're supposed to be for all local businesses, not Broadwalk alone. Broadwalk should go. Done. Open the streets up. Let us all work. You guys have created a monopoly in this town, and this is my worst year ever. I'm paying out of pocket to keep my doors open. It is horrible. And saying it's just the economy, okay, why are they busy? Why are we not? Why are other towns busy and we're not? Why is all the business focused in there? Why is River Center focused only in there? Shut it down. Open up the streets. Let us all work. Shut it down. Enough. It was good during COVID. Okay, everybody was okay. Done. Let us all work. That's all I had to say.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any questions or comments? No, no one's online, Jim? Okay, can I have a motion to close the floor for public comment?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Christina, you got anything?
No report this evening. Just have to say I am shocked that it is somehow already the middle of August. So I'm just gonna try to spend the rest of our summer taking in the activities that we have remaining to us, including Indie Street Film Festival.
Amen.
Good stuff in our parks. So hope everyone else is enjoying too.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, you know, I actually do want to say, a couple of weeks ago, I made a phone call to the manager. I made a call to Chief Frazee as well to compliment the special officers we have this year. They are remarkable, the best group we've ever had. I get to know them on a personal level, and I get to watch them in action. I sit down at the hook and ladder frequently in the evening. About 3 weeks ago, I watched them intercede to keep someone from getting behind the wheel drunk. I watch them consistently going to people that are illegally parked and blocking the potential emergency vehicles. And I just watch them doing a great job of speaking to children and residents and just keeping us safe. I don't know what else to say. What a great job they did this year. And I think they're doing a remarkable job, and I'll just speak out for them because I have known every crop we've had each year, and this is the best one.
I agree.
Yes.
Besides that, I need to take a moment, and I regret that we didn't ask for a moment of silence at the beginning because we lost Chucky King. And I'd like to ask before I say a couple words, if everyone would just observe just a moment of silence for our 50-year member, Chucky King, and I'll share a couple words about him in a moment. Thank you. Chucky, member of the fire police, he's a member of the Union Hose Company, over 50 years of service. And when I say 50 years of service, some folks, they get their years. And, you know, his last few years, and Chucky had been in and out, a little bit sick here and there. And every time he came right back, fire police on scene, keeping us safe, working till the last moment. And he was just a great servant of this community, but just a remarkably kind human being as well. And I just, I'll always think of him in my mind. He always was a volunteer for the Santa Run, and he always had on an elf's hat, and he always made people smile. And he was just a good guy, and he was always out there to help keep this community safe. And he deserves our respect and gratitude. And tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, there are firefighter services over at the funeral home at Thompson Funeral Home, and I'll be there to pay my respects. I know a lot of folks will, because it's a big hole in a department in this community. So thank you very much for offering that moment of silence, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate that.
Okay. Thank you. Originally, I didn't have much to report, but the Complete Streets and Advisory Committee is meeting tomorrow. And, you know, we heard some concerns about traffic, e-bikes, as well as parking for some of our, for our residents in town. So that's something that is definitely going to be brought up, and there will be a discussion about that. Like Christina, I agree. It's the end of summer. We do have a lot of activities coming around. Indie Street Film Festival starts, I think, the 18th. And I think the last West Side Jazz is on this Sunday. So please do get out and connect with the activities in town. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Of course, I can't help but be, affected by what I hear from some of these tonight. I mean, Billy, I don't think is here now, but I'm a regular in his place. I've been to Monticello. Of course, I've been to your Italian restaurant. I think I've been to this gentleman's place as well. I've had animated dialogue with some of you on this topic of Broadwalk. Now, I happen to be a fan of the Broadwalk. I'm a resident. I own a small business, but I'm not on the storefront. I'm downtown more. I enjoy our town more with it. When I go to New York, and I go to other towns in Jersey, and I go to Europe, and I see closed streets, to me, that makes those towns more appealing. In my father's city in the Netherlands, they closed off the whole downtown. I don't know. I mean, of course, I don't know. I mean, I do I've certainly listened to Billy a lot on this topic. What are factors, there's a lot of competition in the restaurant business. Prices are high, labor costs are high, people aren't fair. It's a notoriously brutal business. I used to be in it on a small way. Is it Broadwalk? I don't know. I mean, the economy certainly affected me. I go out less. I spend less money. I'm much more conscientious about going out to amazing restaurants in town that I want to support because my income has not kept up with the cost of food eating out. I am listening, and I think that, and I've said this before, I think this has come up, in other council meetings, can, things evolve? Can we do better? Probably always. And I'm, of course, moved by your passion and emotion, and running a business is brutal. And coming here, I'm sure, is not easy. And I don't, it's hard to hear because I happen to like the Broadwalk. And it's funny, I was talking to Louis outside sitting there, and he says, well, what about the little thing that a town has? And to me, one of the things that Red Bank has, and I think another gentleman talked about this earlier, is that Broadwalk, which is amazing.
I'm that gentleman that said that, and you're absolutely right.
And I like your place too.
But
I gotta eat a little less of that though.
I mean, that's the best asset of our town. That river, which nobody can see, that's the best asset of our town. I'd be happy to say public domain, we're getting rid of that crap at the end of Broad Street, you're gonna see the river. We're the only town that sits on a river 2.5 miles from the beach. This town is money, great, wonderful, but let's not destroy it. That Broadwalk, I love Hoboken, I love New York City.
Johnny, we gotta cut it. It's not public comment. We gotta cut it.
But it's ridiculous.
Unless he wants to come up to the microphone, we can reopen public comment if you want.
I'm just saying,
Do you wanna reopen? I wanna reopen it.
This damn town, and I know you all do, but that thing's not good, and the economy does stink, but it's not an excuse.
We can reopen it.
As a restaurant, I'm like, oh, you guys are hurting me.
I have a motion to reopen the public comment. Second.
All in favor?
The problem is if you're talking back there, there's people that are listening online and no one can hear you, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to be there.
Come on up.
Public comments over.
Every one of you. I adore this town. I adore it. And I just think it hurts. And it is tough sledding. Eggs, shit, pork rolls, $73 a case. When I started 12 years ago, it was $28. We all know what eggs went through. Bread went up. Not your fault. I'm not blaming anybody. It is what it is. But when my town works counter to me, takes away parking spots, says 8 to 10 days for the curb bump out, 7 months later, you hurt me all last quarter of last year into the first quarter of this year. Then that gets done. Oh, the town goes, oh, we're going to do all the other sidewalks and curbs. Mod on. I'm like ready to put a bullet in my head. I can't win with this town. And then you shut Broad Street down. The guy from Leonardo, and I don't mean to quote him, his line was, I know people that don't come into Red Bank because of Broadwalk, but I know a lot of people who won't come into Red Bank because of Broadwalk. You've changed the traffic pattern. We're creatures of habit. We go where we go to get our coffee, do what we do, buy our lottery tickets. The minute you reroute us, it's like, oh my God, what do? I can't make a left. I got to make a right. You go behind Garmany, it's like a freaking bloodfest trying to get down that little street with the hospital workers in the morning trying to get there because they can't get down Broad Street. It just doesn't make sense. I thought the whole point of those retractable things was, hey, we don't have to pay DPW to put the cement blocks, which I'm glad you do that. We all know terrible things have happened in open spaces. I don't want that ever to happen here, and I know you don't either. But they can't even do that. Those things don't even work, I've been told. So you spend all that money on those retractable things, it still takes a day for DPW to put them up and down. Why can't we be like, hey, Friday night, 5 o'clock, the street gets closed down till Sunday at 5 o'clock? Fucking love it. But this idea of, hey, from like middle of May till October, we're closing the street down, makes no sense. Even the EMS guys would probably argue, we can't get to buildings, we can't get to the hospital because of what you've done. It doesn't make sense. That's all we're saying. And I'm not, your points are not on deaf ears. I love Europe. I love open spaces. I love that about this town, but it doesn't make sense. And that's why these people are here. I wish there were more of us, but they don't show up. So I'll say it again. Come have a cup of coffee in my store one day. Just sit there for an hour. Trust me, your constituents will come in and tell you how they really feel. Because your job is to listen and react, right? You run the town. It's a great town. Let's keep it great. That's all I'm saying. That's it. I'm done.
Wow.
Anybody else have any more public comment while it's open?
Yes.
Can't wait to enter this fray. My name is Tim McClung, and we own the Robinson Ale House in town. I know that from what I can tell, the audience is dead set against Broadwalk. I have some facts which I think matter. And I absolutely understand if people are outside of Broadwalk that there could be, a feeling that we get an advantage that other people don't. I don't know. The first year we did Broadwalk, our business went up $300,000. And that was the difference of life or death for us. And it was fantastic. Last year, we were up about the same, almost exactly the same. This year, we're down, but we're down. I apologize for this part. I have 10 restaurants, which makes me an unsympathetic character. Of the 10 restaurants, 8 of them are down for the year, including Red Bank. Our one up in West Orange is up like 2%. We have a brand new one in Asbury, and of course, it's brand new. So it's going great. But the rest of it, we are down anywhere from 5% to 12% on the year. And it is primarily because of the weather. The weather was horrible. We had 11 straight weekends where we lost at least one of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if not all of them. It's really, I hate it when we get contentious about things we have no control over. We have no control over the weather. And not only was it bad out, but it was cold for a good period of that time. And we came off, the weather seemed to start changing in early December. It got bad. So we were down for the year anyway. So here we go. We're going to do Broadwalk and we're going to get that money back. No, we didn't, because the weather was terrible. I think, could there be adjustments made to Broadwalk? Absolutely. Maybe it should start later. Maybe it should end sooner. I could understand that. I mean, we all want the prime times, but we have found out if we live around here, which I have for, I don't even like to think about it. We know what the weather can be like in September and even October. Sometimes it's the best weather of the year. But I understand if people want to narrow this thing down. And you're just going to have to take my word for this part, because it would just sound like I'm making something up. But just yesterday, I was speaking to our host outside right here at Robinson's. And she said, what's funny? I'm meeting people from all over the place. That almost stands for itself. She's meeting people from other states and other areas of this state. And she said, that's my fun part of the job. I meet people from all over the place. That was theoretically the idea of Broadwalk. It wasn't to hurt other people. And I would also suggest to everybody who's hell-bent to get rid of it, I would like to know you're going to help me replace that $300,000. How are you going to do that? What positive program are you bringing to this? Or is it, let's just get rid of this thing because it's too much of a headache? And I understand that particularly the people like a mechanic or whatever, it's a pain in the ass. It is. There's no question about it. But what do we all do? Do we just do nothing and say, this thing seemed to work for Tim, but maybe nobody else is happy? Like I said, I don't expect anybody to feel sorry for us. I really don't. And I understand the complaints. But it was a breakthrough for us where we were just another place that was plus or minus at the end of a year. And it turned us from a plus or minus into a big plus we've been very successful there and I'm appreciative and we love this town. I mean, I remember my dad moved here late in life and he said, I wished I'd lived here all my life. He just liked it. He liked it walking around. And we're not trying to change any of that. We just thought it was a great idea and we've been the beneficiaries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Did you?
Sure.
Yeah, and then we'll close public comment once
Yeah.
people are done.
Ben has to give us the message.
Oh, you just turned it off.
Oh, go ahead, hit it again.
It's on.
We all respect and honor Tim McClune, 10 restaurants, one of the best locations in Red Bank. But he makes it very clear. At the end of the day, we just want a level playing field. If he's up 300K, he's taking it from somewhere. Say there's whatever millions of dollars pouring into Red Bank every week. Say it's $1 million or $500,000 realistically. Because it is a set amount of money. It's not infinite. If they're getting the bigger percentage of those dollars, less is going to outside the perimeter. All we're asking for is a level playing field. Having the Broadwalk does not allow a level playing field. He just said it himself. He's up 300K while we're down whatever percentage that is. It just does not make sense. That in what world does the Broadwalk how does that make it fair for the perimeter of the restaurants? And again, we know the restaurant business is down nationally and regionally. It's just that we're feeling it even more so because the Broadwalk is taking the oxygen out of the room, per se. It's as simple as that. We just want a level playing field. It's not level.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz.
I'm gonna make a motion to close public comment again.
Take a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ben, you want to finish, Ben?
So if I don't mind, I moved because I moved to Red Bank because I want to be in a thriving town. And by the way, I remember when I was here in '96, how dead the downtown was in July and August. I mean, dead. Now, I careful what you wish for, you might get it. I don't know that closing the Broadwalk is gonna make anything better, but maybe we're just gonna have less people in town spending anywhere. Who knows? I mean, we don't know. You can't say with an absolute certainty that this is some magic bullet and that there aren't other factors. Maybe you're right, maybe you're not. Anyway, I think I've made my point. I thank you for running those businesses, making Red Bank great. And I am a fan of having a downtown, and that's why Amy and I live here, and it makes Red Bank great. I think I'm done.
Do you have a Parks and Rec report?
Oh,
or-
Parks and Rec report. Well, we do have rock and roll concert tomorrow night. I'm the Park and Rec liaison. And we do have, by the way, end of summer sports camps coming, signing up, so please sign up for that. And that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Laura?
I want to do one of those.
Okay, I just want to say that I had my retirement party from Monmouth University in Neapolis in the back room. You have very good food. I like that restaurant. I even bring my own liquor when, because you don't have a liquor license. But you have very good eggplant rollatini. Homemade, I know. Thank you. Being Italian, I really like it. And I saw you once where were we, in Mexico, coming off a plane at the same time, right? Okay. Lots of things to talk about. The library report, we're not having a meeting in the summer. Our next meeting is in September. Let me find the date here, hang on. September 18th, summer reading wrap-up party is this Saturday at 11 a.m. Volunteer appreciation meeting is Monday at 6. So it honors all the people that volunteer at the library. I'm gonna be working there. I was actually asked to pour the wine because Steve always has to pour the wine, then he can't mingle with anyone. So that's what's going on with the library. I guess the big thing with the library, it went through zoning, I guess, right, Jim? That they're gonna be able to put a lighted, no, not yet. Sorry.
I went to, it went to planning.
Planning, it's planning. So they're gonna put a marquee in front of the library.
Planning recommended it as a yes.
Okay, great, thank you. So they were excited about that too. So that was library. Animal welfare met the other night. We're gonna have dog days in September, so we're working really hard on that. We have Yappy Hour coming up. So that's another exciting thing that's happening. And what else are we doing there? So we've been working on a lot of those things. Today, we had downtown Living Healthy Block Party. It was on Monmouth Street, between Shrewsbury and Bridge. And it was put up by the Community B&A Health Center. It was rescheduled very quickly because they were putting new sidewalks in front of the B&A, so they had to change the date quickly. And we still had a very nice turnout today. They had a DJ there. They had free Mexican food. They had music. They had community resources. Lots of people showed up. Parker Clinic. It was run by the V&A of Central Jersey. WellPoint was there. Hackensack Meridian, Horizon, Aetna. A lot of people came, and I think it was very well attended for being rescheduled very quickly. By the way, V&A is very happy they have new sidewalks on the side of Monmouth Street.
Yeah.
So that was great. Tonight we had, liaison to the Mayor's Wellness Committee at our in-person meeting. We meet, 4 of us meet in executive session every Wednesday, like a meeting on Zoom, but we have so much stuff planned. So tonight we had a meeting here so that we could have a lot of our stakeholders here. Almost all of them showed up. We're going to be, this Saturday, we're having, at Johnny Jazz Park, lunch break is having their big picnic where they'll be giving out knapsacks. They'll be giving out sneakers, and I guess they're gonna have a softball game that I think the mayor wants to get a team in, but they're having lots and lots of stuff. So it starts at 9 this Saturday. We're having a turkey giveaway on November 22nd. At St. Anthony's Church, we'll be giving out 120 turkeys. And we are also going to give out bags with dried non-perishables for people for Thanksgiving. So lots of good stuff that's going to be there. Last year, we had people giving out vaccines from the health department and from Parker Clinic. So we're excited about that. We're going to have a nutrition presentation coming up by JP Soul Kitchen. Let's Beat Breast Cancer. The mayor can talk to that we're having on September 20th at Riverside Park. We talked about New Jersey Senior Olympics and lots of other events as part of the Mayor Wellness Committee. Thank you. That's it for me.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I go into my report, I will just comment briefly as the River Center liaison. Lou, as you know, I have been present at the River Center meetings, and we were in discussion about some ideas that could bring equity into the other areas. So I hope that we can continue to have those conversations, and anybody else who hasn't been attending those meetings, please, come and be a part of those conversations. I believe it would be fruitful and helpful. Also for Maren to be able to share the data, which shows the amount of people that are coming into the town that were not coming in before. And that really cannot be stressed enough. More people helps the economy. People coming here helps the economy, and we have to be very careful to not operate under a scarcity mindset. People boost your economy. People coming here is a good thing, and people moving here because they see something as an asset. I've met 3 people in the last 2 weeks that told me they moved here specifically because of the Broadwalk. So we just want to tell you as electeds, that's the things that we're balancing when we're receiving that feedback, and also the business owners that are telling us that they value the Broadwalk, the business owners that are moving their businesses into the Broadwalk because they value the Broadwalk, the new businesses that are opening in the Broadwalk and chose that area because the Broadwalk exists. So I look forward to continuing that conversation. But I just wanted to say, I have been present at those River Center meetings, and I believe that we were having very good dialogue. So I hope that we can continue that and that everybody can keep discussing. All right. Mark your calendar for an epic new event. River Center is excited to team with Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash for the first ever Red Bank Pop Culture Festival on Saturday, September 13th from 12 to 4 p.m. Raid date September 14th. The festival will celebrate movies, comics, gaming, anime, and much more. Indie Street Film Festival is next week, actually starting Monday. Whew. I've been honored to serve on the advisory board of that film festival. We're now celebrating 10 years of it. It is one of the best program film festivals in the country. We are extremely fortunate to host an international film festival here in our town. If you can make it any of those nights through the 18th through the 24th, it is a wonderful time. On Mechanic Street, tomorrow, you're invited to a Pretty Sweet grand opening celebration. This is a joint celebration for Pretty Charming Hat Bar and Event Decor, which is on Mechanic Street, as well as Jersey Cookie Girl, which is also located on Mechanic Street. They're doing a joint ribbon cutting ceremony at 11 a.m. and then they're doing an after party from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. They have so many special things planned during this celebration. They're doing freebies, they're doing music. I think they're doing line dancing lessons. Line dancing is super popular. Who would have thought? There's a lot of line dancing going on in this town. So go and support these two new businesses that chose to open on Mechanic Street and, you know, show them some love. Let's see, what else do we got? Vote for the Molly Pitcher and the Oyster Point. They're in 3 categories. They've been nominated for Best Hotel in the Asbury Park Press Best of the Best, so you can support them there. There's kids karate on Broadwalk every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Free karate classes on the green turf area in front of Chocolate Works. There's a free show at Jack's Music Shop on Sunday. It's Prettier Now. They're doing an in-store performance at 3 p.m. It's free in all ages. Street Life is every Saturday night. And that's the basis of my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Yeah, looking forward to a bunch of great events happening in Red Bank that you guys covered. Yeah, just one thought on the Broadwalk. I'm obviously not in favor of shutting the Broadwalk down. I apologize, Billy. But I am in favor of treating it as a living, evolving thing. So, you know, I took notes on some of the things like maybe it's 6 p.m. parking while the Broadwalk is there. We can certainly talk on parking enforcement to be a little more flexible. So I'd love to speak with any of the businesses on an idea that's drawing attention to them, whatever that looks like, whether it's a vehicle parked on the street in front of one of the shops that's calling attention, or, you know, a horse and buggy running around the street, whatever it is that we can bring attention to. I'm open to the idea, and I'm sure Marin is as well. I think on balance, the Broadwalk is a positive thing for this town. Again, it's bringing a lot of people here that were not coming otherwise, especially in the summer months. Without a draw, most people probably are going to the beach. And that was the kind of the impetus of the Broadwalk to begin with. But that's all I got. I always appreciate hearing from everybody and coming here. It's important to be in dialogue. That's the only way things improve. So thank you all for being here and let me know, sometimes quite forcefully, your opinion on this issue. Thank you. Jim, manager's report.
Be quick tonight, Mayor. Just want to let everybody know the 2025 road program is underway, along with our lead service line replacement program that's continuing with Underground Utilities as the contractor. Tonight, we awarded by resolution the Marine Park project. I'm happy to say that bid came in last Wednesday, a little bit under what was anticipated. So in that bid, we actually put that they had 14 days from the date that we execute the contract, which we'll look to execute the contract hopefully next week. They have 14 days to mobilize and start that project. So we'll be moving quickly into Marine Park so we can have some good progress before the cold months ahead. Also DPU, happy to see that ordinance was passed tonight as well, so we continue along with that project. And I did just want to update on the results from the final report of the Quick Build Mini Grant project that we did at River and Layton. As you know, that had some coverage and some discussion earlier in the year with potentially a 4-way stop. Obviously, the traffic data shows that 4-way stops are not safe or a prescribed method for slowing traffic down, and that other ways of doing it are to be used. So we went with the tactical urban, tactical urban through the Quick Builds mini grant. And we also deployed then after the project, the speed counters and traffic counters in the same area that we did back in March of 2024. So in March of 2024, there was a total vehicle volume of 16,701 vehicles that crossed through that intersection there. In July of 2025, after post installation of the painting and the pinching of the road with the bollards, we saw 22,827 vehicles. Now, granted, the traffic counter was out for a couple of days more, but what was important is that we gathered more data in July as well. In the 85th percentile of speed in 2024, we saw the 85th percentile was 27 miles per hour, which was still not necessarily an enforceable speed or low on the enforceable scale. However, in July of 2025, the traffic counter showed 25 miles per hour, which is exactly the speed limit on at River and Layton. The 85th percentile, and that was the combined lanes because it does southbound, northbound traffic. What was interesting is that the southbound traffic in 2024 showed 28 miles per hour, 1 mile per hour more. But in July of 2025, it was actually 24 miles per hour. So it's actually lower than the speed limit at the 85th percentile. And then the peak speed volume range in 2024 was between 21 miles per hour and 26 miles per hour. And in July of 25 is between 21 and 23 miles per hour. So under the speed limit, I think that the project absolutely, held its weight in what we were trying to do. People are slowing down. And if that was exactly what the goal is of the borough, and I know the residents in that area and the people that's brought it to our attention, and I think it's working.
Thank you.
Mayor, could I make one more comment?
Sure.
I wanted to publicly thank the police department who stayed the whole time that Monmouth Street was closed today. They helped me and Nancy take down the tent, put it in our car. We drove it over to DPU. I want to thank the DPU for their work. It was really hot when we got there. A lot of tables had tents, and then we got a tent. So it was a lot cooler standing there. So I just publicly want to thank those two departments. Thank you.
Thank you. Exec session, do we have, Jim, anything? No, right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Bye.
No, I'm supposed to be off, right, as of now.